Okay, going to be working on another project here. These are the rear doors, and I'm going to be making a template for my sheet metal. And I'll show you what's been going on with these. So originally, I thought on the inside of the door, you can see here we got the wooden frame on the outside, and I thought the inside would have had a wooden frame on the inside as well. But I was able to find a picture, an old picture, that shows the interior shot of the doors, and I was able to find a high-res one that kind of showed a detail here. Let me show you what that's going to look like. So on the inside, I don't know if you can see this, but the metal would have been pushed from the outside in and formed a flange that goes around. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be making a template so I can make a hammer form, so I can hammer that metal and make an oval flange. So we're going to attempt to do that, and we'll see how that comes out. I do have some scrap leftover pieces for that, but first thing what I want to do is I want to take my oval and I'm gonna make a template, and then I have some plywood here that I already got kind of laid out, so I'll just kind of follow the pattern so far of the door. So you got 2-inch on the sides, on the top, and then I have a bottom section down here. And so I went ahead and centered everything on that. I don't know if you can see the things on there or not, but I went ahead and centered everything. So I'll cut out my pattern, I'll trace everything, then I'll use this to cut out for the inside of the flange area, so that way we can make a hammer form. I'm going to probably need about 2 of these together so I can get my depth, because it's going to be 3/4 of an inch. The plywood that they sell, unfortunately, is not actual 3/4 of an inch, so I'll have 2 of these together so I can do the hammer form there. So we'll get started with that. See, now we got that other circle in there just now. And now what we got to do is we got to find center of this. The quickest, easy way to do that is we're going to fold it in half, and then we're going to fold it in half, and then that'll give us our center lines here. Okay, so now we got our center lines there. Now we can put it on our hammer form and get everything traced out where it needs to go. And that'll tell us exactly where everything needs to be. So we'll get the rest of this inside cut out, and then we'll get everything traced out, and we can start cutting our plywood here for our hammer form. So now we got our pattern here, so this will be the exterior for the frame, and then this material here, this 3/4 inch, what's going to become the flange. So when we put it on our hammer form, that we'll hammer that out and bend it out to form a flange. So stick that on our form here, and so when I go to do these rear doors, I'll just line everything up with the marks, and then I can trace my metal. But we'll cut this out on the plywood, so that'll give us where we want our flange for all of that. So we'll trace this, cut that out, and then we will come back and we'll cut some more out, so that way this is extending over, and then we'll be able to start bending that out. But we'll use this as a pattern to trim out our metal, give us a nice clean line there as well. All right, got my wooden form here. Got the first oval cut out. I don't know if you can see that there. So this first line here would be the line that's the furthest out on the oval frame, and then the next line in would be the inside of that, and then our next line here, this is where I'm going to first cut the metal, the section of the metal, and then we got 3/4 inch to that line there, and that's what we'll cut out next after we get everything where we want it as far as on the metal. And so this will form our buck, so that way we can hammer that metal to form that flange there. So I'm gonna get this metal all cleaned up here and put it on here, because I got about 3 of these. They're just short little scraps here I'm gonna use to try everything out, make sure it works out first. So we'll get this cleaned up and then we'll get it traced. Okay, so we got that oval, so we'll cut this out, and then when we get the other section on this other form, we'll cut out that next circle there, and like I said, we'll have 2 of these together, so that way I can have a larger buck to form that metal. But hopefully this will work. We'll find out. Okay, I wanted to show you the finished product here of making my buck for those rear windows. So this is the large buck piece here. So I don't know how well you can see that, but because it's 3/4 inch, my flange, I got 2 pieces of plywood, stuck them together, and just had to route all that out and finish sand it, everything. So that'll be the buck, and then you'll have a top piece that'll go over, that will sandwich the metal in between, and that'll hold the metal down, and then they're just simply screwed down in the 4 places there. So those will be screwed down. And then in order to make the flange, I have to cut the metal 3/4 inch smaller for the oval radius. So how I did that is I just made another template and drew my oval there, and then just took a measurement 3/4 of an inch all the way around, drew my line, cut it out, and then you can draw that on your metal. So I just have these test pieces here cut out. So you center everything on the buck there, put your piece on, trace it out, and then you can cut it out. So I went ahead and already cut one of these pieces out. So this is 3/4 of an inch smaller than this. So then when we start to go hammering on it and hopefully form it into that flange. So we'll see how that all works out. Okay, I wanted to show you the finished product here of making my buck for those rear windows. So this is the large buck piece here. So I don't know how well you can see that, but because it's 3/4 of an inch, my flange, I got 2 pieces of plywood, stuck them together, and just had to route all that out and finish sand it and everything. So that'll be the buck, and then you'll have a top piece that'll go over that will sandwich the metal in between, and that'll hold the metal down, and then they're just simply screwed down in the 4 places there. So those will be screwed down. And then in order to make the flange, I have to cut the metal 3/4 of an inch smaller for the oval radius. So how I did that is I just made another template and drew my oval there, and then just took a measurement 3/4 of an inch all the way around, drew my line, cut it out, and then you can draw that on your metal. So I just have these test pieces here cut out. So you center everything on the buck there, put your piece on, trace it out, and then you can cut it out. So I went ahead and already cut one of these pieces out. So this is 3/4 of an inch smaller than this. So then when we start to go hammering on it and hopefully form it into that flange. So we'll see how that all works out. Okay, so I got everything in the buck now. So as you can see, this is what will become the flange. So we're going to hammer down from this side on into the buck on the other side. So let's try that. Okay, I got this first test panel done that I hammer formed. Of course, this is my first time doing this, so not too happy with it, but I can see where I can improve on it. So you can see now how that flange comes out there. And then I got this here. This is just some rubber edge to cover that that edge up there on the steel. But overall, pretty happy with it. Gonna have to just kind of watch as I hammer form here, because you can see it's a little rough right there. So I'm gonna have to see what I can do to fix that. Turn it around here. Now you can see this a little bit better. And then of course the frame would go over that. And then the glass will be captured behind that that frame there. So not too bad. I already know that I'm going to have to fix my form. I used, it was like 5/16 piece of wood at the top of my form. Got beat up pretty bad, so I'm going to try to get another piece of 3/4 inch, and I'll use that for the top. And then as I was hammering this, I noticed that the panel, because this metal was all stretching as we were hammering it out, the metal was trying to go different places, and I only had it secured in the corners. So I think I'm gonna have to secure it here, here, and up here as well. Wouldn't be able to do anything down here because there's not nothing to secure it there, so I'll probably just put some clamps around that as well. But we'll try it again. I got a couple more pieces I can use as test pieces. Okay, I'm starting the process of doing the skinning of the metal on the exterior. I got all these, the insides painted, and then the exteriors are just primered right now. But I got one side on already, so you can kind of see how that's gonna look. It's looking really good. I'm pretty excited about it. I still can't put on this last brace section here because I gotta still fit for my fender irons, so I won't be able to do that till I able to do some mock-up of the chassis. But you can see here what's kind of looking like. I'm putting felt all between the pillars here, and that just really kind of quiets things down so it's not, you know, rattling around there. Of course, it'll go all the way around the section there as well. So, but yeah, coming along here. Nice little winter project. Okay, so I got the lower panel there nailed on, and working on the upper panel. So I got it clamped where I need to, making some progress here. Now you can really see what the inside of that looks like. And really liking the look there of the wood with the red. It's looking really sharp. Of course, I have to do the other side there still, but really liking how it's turning out.